Okay, welcome to the webinar, Bitrix24 HR Toolkit. So who are we? I'm Damien Edwards, Business Development Manager of Interface, and with me I've got our Support Manager, Andy Naylor.
Hi guys, if you've got any questions throughout the webinar, just put them in the box provided and we'll have a Q&A session at the end of each section.
So we're partners of Bitrix24. We're located in Sheffield in the UK and New York, and we provide all pre-sale support. We can provide a demo, advise you on which product, which is the best package to buy. We have a full implementation service, including customization and training. If you chose a self-hosted solution, we're able to provide that hosting option for you, and we provide ongoing support packages. So what is Bitrix24? A suite of in excess of 35 tools for managing your business. Over 2 million companies now using Bitrix, available as a cloud on a monthly subscription and also as a self-hosted solution, essentially as a one-off fee. So why use Bitrix24 for HR? Bitrix includes all the tools you need for managing your employees' data and records, recording their time, also a range of standard self-service forms and processes, and the ability to create your own custom forms and processes. Okay, let's have a look to start with at some of the standard tools. We'll then look at some live examples. So we'll look at how to find employees, how to manage their time, a little bit about drives, look at how you can engage your employees better, and then towards the end we'll have a look at some forms and some processes. Okay, first thing we should know is we can clock in. You can require users to clock in to the system. They can clock in up here. Going to look at a little bit later on. They can clock in also on a mobile, and you can define working hours. So you can set minimum number of hours that a user should be clocked in to the system. Of course, you can see down here you can clock into individual tasks as well. We cover that off a little bit in a project management webinar. One question we do get asked a lot is how to disable this for individual users or groups of users or across the organization. This will flash and remind you to clock in. If you don't want it to do that, then it is possible, as I say, to disable that. If we go into work time, and as an administrator I get the option to enable settings on this page, and this gives me the option to go into any of these, as I say, by individual department or individual user. You can disable this work time management tool. Okay, we can store all your employees' data within the system, and you can easily find other users of the system in a few different ways. So as I start to type in the search box, this will give me straight away some results. We can also find people through the company structure, and so I can search by department, and I'm able to click through to this particular user and find out a bit of information about their contact details and maybe more information about their role within the organization.
Yeah, it's something that we would always recommend for you to do first when you're setting up your Bitrix system, whether it's the cloud or the self-hosted. We would always recommend for you to set up your company structure, set up all your departments, not just for HR purposes that we're showing you today, but also it allows you to set permissions on quite a lot of different areas, from the CRM through to documents as well.
Okay, so this page we're looking at now is a user's profile page. This is a slightly custom view. We are on a self-hosted version, which allows you to customize some of these pages a little bit more than you can on the cloud. And we're going to have a look at how you can add a custom field. Andy's going to show us how to add a custom field into this page. So we're going to add a field called education, so we can document this particular user's educational background.
Okay, yeah, so as Damien mentioned, we are on the self-hosted version here. So if you've been using the cloud, the main difference that you'll see on your system is that we have this top section here called the control panel dashboard. So you can see if I click on show, this will pull down a few extra features. We have a webinar on the self-hosted advantages, so if you're interested in the self-hosted, we can show you on there. But in this case, as Damien said, what we're going to do is we're going to add a custom field. Just going to show you how to do this on, just to show you a little bit how flexible it is in terms of the self-hosted package. So if I'm on the custom field section here, and if I just click on add, and what I'm going to do, just add a new text field. As Damien said, I'm going to be adding a text field to show the education background. So give it a unique field ID, and then if I just put it in English, what it will be, this is just the label just to show on the, and we can even include it on the filters as well. So this is the label that you would put on your profile. So once you click save, click back to the site here, and now that I'm an administrator on the site, I can see this top panel. So if I just switch to edit mode and click on the component here, and then we just need to add it onto, find it within here. You can see that there. So if I hold down control and click on educational background, and then all I need to just add it onto is the editable properties. Just add a question just about a recording on here. So we are recording this. So if you do want to play back what the changes that we're making on here, you can do. We'll be posting out an email to a link to this video. So now that I've added it onto the profile, just need to click onto edit profile so I can fill out that information. And if I scroll down, you'll be able to see here. So if I just say London, and then click on save, this field should now show on the user's profile. So you can see how easy it is for you to customize the profile on the self-hosted version here. Like I say, not only have we got the ability to add custom fields, but we've got the ability to add the badges like on the left-hand side, and a little bit of information about the absence, which we're going to discuss and show you a little bit later on.
Okay, so thanks for that. So we added a custom field. I think I'm right in saying, Andy, that if we don't populate that field, it doesn't show as a blank field. Yeah, so it has some content in there. So you could have, you're not going to have a lot of fields here that are showing that are unpopulated. Okay, let's have a look at where would you store all your HR documents. Well, each user has a private drive area, and they can share they can share their private area with an HR department. So we would go into here. So inside here will be where we would store our documents. We're going to look at a process in a minute that automatically adds all the sort of standard HR documents into a drive area like this. Okay, let's go into the activity stream. Let's have a look at how you can engage a little bit better with your employees using a social network like Bitrix24, as well as being able to communicate with people in the stream. groups of people like this or individual users, and improve kind of communication you have currently might have on email. We can also run, we also have some additional tools which can improve engagement with your employees. Firstly, we can show appreciation. So we can post a message. We're going to send this out to all employees, but we're actually going to tag this in with one particular employee here. So we're going to give them a badge, and when this is posted into the stream, all users of the system are going to see this. They're able to then add their own comment in here, and we can also do things like this item. So if I was to like this, then the original author will receive a notification.
Yeah, I think you can see from this how you can build up a lot of collaboration and engagement within your own actual company. A lot of our clients use this, and we can actually customize this a little bit in terms of the badges that you can use, so you can actually personalize it a little bit more to your company.
Yeah, so we'll look at, so this was a message that we posted into the stream. We want to post something that's going to be a little bit more permanent. Then we can create what we call an announcement. I'm going to announce a new starter. We're going to put in an image into this post, and we are sending this again to all employees. Every user in the system will see this, but this time, instead of it just being a post in the activity stream, we just switch into a second user I've got here, refresh, and we can see, as well as the message in the activity stream, we can see an announcement which is going to stick there on the right hand side until I click mark as read. Okay, we're going to look at some self-service forms next. Let's see if we've got any questions on this section. Can an employee be in more than one department? I think they can, yeah. I think we can add into one, and the reason why you might want to do that is, I think probably a few different reasons, but if they need to approve leave for more than just their own department, then as supervisor of, say, 2 departments, they could approve leave across 2 departments. You might want to do it also, I think, for permissions. If you're setting up some permissions, particularly in areas like CRM or tasks, then you might want to give permissions just to those colleagues in the same department, and in that case you might want to put someone into 2 departments. So yeah, that can be done. It's quite straightforward.
Can a user clock in on the mobile app? Well, we're actually going to show you a little bit later on how to do that, but in general, yes, they can use the mobile app to clock in and clock out. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can badges to be displayed on a user's profile page? Well, I think we showed you a page that had some badges on there. That was a customized page, so it's not really a standard profile process, but we do develop that sort of process for customers. I think it probably requires the self-hosted version in order to, those badges that we showed you in just now, in order for those to show on a user's profile page, I think it would require a custom process, and I think it would require the self-hosted version.
Yeah, I think if you're referring to the appreciation badges, which I think you are, yeah, I mean, it is possible on the self-hosted, but I don't think it would be possible on the cloud to do that.
Okay. So let's have a look at some live examples. We'll have a look at a couple of processes. Firstly, an absence request process, which is a standard process shipped with Bitrix. We'll then look at a new starter onboarding process, which is a custom process, but a common one we get asked to set up for customers. And then we'll have a look at how you can track time from a mobile. So we looked at how you can clock in from a desktop, from within your browser on a desktop, but it is possible to do that on a mobile as well. Okay, so I'm going to request leave First thing we need to do is from the home page, click into processes and leave approval. Now you can, I think, create custom menus for these items if you want to, be able to get to these items quickly. I'm presented with a form, and I've got some options here about type of leave. These are all customizable. If you need to have additional fields in here, such as attaching supporting documentation or other drop-down fields or free text fields as we've got here, you can create those. So when I submit the form, this will trigger the business process, which we're going to look at in a couple of minutes. But as a user, I see a notification. This is the user that submitted the process. This is who it's gone to. So as you can see here, there's two supervisors here. They're able to approve this this particular request. I do actually see my requests stack up. As you can see, I've got 50 requests here. So these are my actual outstanding requests that I'm waiting for approval on. Let's switch to our second user, and straight away we can see that the request that I made is now with this user. He'll see it in his activity stream, so he can approve or deny this straight away from this activity stream. I can expand that message there to see a bit of detail about the request. He'll also see it in his workflows page, so we'll look in there. And so in their workflows page, they can see a list of assignments which they need to act on. Now these could be HR assignments, but they could also be assignments around CRM or project management.
Yeah, you can create, as you can see at the top, you can create custom filters. So you may just want, as your HR team may want to create particular filters for with the leave, for leave type only. So they just have to click on the filter button, click on leave, and then it can filter out particularly for that. So if you've got a lot of requests, that would be quite a useful thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a really good, a really logical way to work through requests. If you're somebody that needs to approve a lot of different things, then working through a list like this is a very simple way to get things done in a timely manner. So I'm going to approve this and switch back and refresh, and we can see that this has now been approved. This will be added to my absence chart. Time and reports. So this is the leave request that I requested, and it's been approved, and it's now added to the absence chart. We can filter charts by different time periods. We can also filter by different departments if you want to do that. Obviously, in a live example, you're going to have a lot more users on your list. Okay, so Andy's going to show us the business process. So I submitted a form, and this triggers a business process in the back end. Andy will show us how that works and how we can customize it.
Yeah, so you can do, obviously you can do quite a lot of things with these processes. Obviously Damien's just showed you the absence leave. You can pretty much submit anything via a form, via the activity stream here. So if you're submitting expenses, things like that, then we can build a process for that. Now Bitrix does come with, if you just click into more processes and then settings, and I'll just show you the processes that Bitrix comes with. So if I just click in workflows directory here, Bitrix as standard comes with five different business processes here. So you can see here the one that Damien's just filled out is the leave approval. Now if you don't see processes in your activity stream, then if you come to workflows and then workflows and activity stream and click on the directory, you'll just have an install button here. You can click on that and then it will install these 5 business processes here. So if we go back to our list, now we have some custom ones on here. I'm going to show you one in a moment. If I go to the leave approval, what we've just filled in, and what we'll firstly look at is the actual form fields. So if I click on actions and then click on customize fields here, so this is where you can start to build your form. So these are the fields that Damien filled in earlier with a hidden one of approved, because we're going to use that in the business process to determine different things such as notifications and whether we should add it to the absence chart, things like that. So there's a lot of different types you can use. You've obviously got standard text fields, date fields, list fields, and you've also got user fields, which we'll show you in another process shortly. So to add a new field, it's just as simple as clicking on add field and then filling out the necessary information. So once you've configured your form and all the fields that you want to fill in, we're going to go to configure workflows here. So if we click configure workflows and then click on leave approval. And then Bitrix has got a really powerful business process tool. So if you're not familiar with a business process, it basically, in this case, this is called a sequential business process. And when Damien submitted that form, then it will start at this start point here. So all the information that was submitted is then used within this process itself to perform different actions. So we first mentioned about the company structure. So, and I did say that this is one of probably the most important things when you're initially setting up Bitrix, is to set up your company structure, because in this case we use that company structure to determine who is going to approve your leave. So if I just click into this action block here, so we have, so in each department you can highlight a supervisor, and so if I was to submit my leave, then it would go to the supervisor in that particular department. So this is how we have this this process set up here. If somebody didn't have a supervisor, then we could determine an individual in the HR department to confirm and reject this particular leave. So if we go further on down the business process, you can see here that we have the actual approval process itself. So when it popped up on the activity stream from Mark Hope, whether to click on approve or click on reject, then this is what this action block is basically saying. So you can click on approve, it will do one thing, click on reject, it will do another. In this case, once you click on either, it will set the status to approved on the left-hand side, and it will set the status to rejected on the right-hand side if no is selected. And then we have a condition here that then reads those results, and if the leave has been approved, then we'll send a notification to the employee to say that they've been approved. And based on what type of leave that the user selected in the form, so we had a list and a drop-down with a number of different types of leave, then it will add it to the absence chart based on that type of leave. So this is like I say, this is a standard process that comes with Bitrix. On the self-hosted, you've got a little bit more scope. So for example, here at Interface, we've developed an extension for the self-hosted package where you can specify how many days of leave each user is entitled to, and once it gets approved, then it will take it off that particular user's leave, and then the user will be able to see that on their own profile. So they won't always be asking how many days holiday have I got left. They'll be able to go to the profile and see it on their particular profile themselves.
Yeah, and also I think our extension also allows them organisations to set different working weeks. So if we deal with businesses that operate in the Middle East and the US, and they're able to set different working days for different users in the system. So if I was to book over a weekend in the UK or the US, then it won't take into account those weekend days as actual holidays used days. So you can set your working weeks, you can set your public holidays as well, I think. So again, the same sort of thing happens. Those aren't taken off your holiday entitlement. In addition, I think we've also customized it to allow users to book leave by the hour as well. So you can book by the hour, half day or full day, that sort of thing. Okay. So let's have a look at second process, new starter onboarding process. So this is a custom process, not shipped with Bitrix, but it's this example we're going to show you is very, very simple. I think in your example it's going to be most live examples. It's a little bit more complicated. Let's run the process again, and then Andy will show us through the business process cell. So if we click into the same area, processes, and we've got one here called new starter. I'm going to select this new starter, give them a job title. We're going to specify a date that they are starting in the organization. We've got a drop down here that gives us a role to select, or a role type. We'll see in the business process, but by selecting the type of role, we trigger a condition which triggers different actions depending on the selected item. We're going to select a buddy for this new person, and by default this is given us a leave entitlement of 20 days. I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to add my resume, and we're going to add in also our contract of employment, and that's it. So it's a fairly short form. Your form might have additional fields in, but this is a good example to show you what's possible. And using a form like this allows us to onboard a new employee in a very structured manner, which means that each new starter gets the same treatment. We don't forget to do something that needs to be done. It also makes things very, very, very quick. You can see how quick it was for me to complete that form. So first thing we'll do, go to our notifications, and we can see that a new file has been submitted to the Human Resources group. Okay, so it links us into the file, and we can see that this is in the Human Resources drive here.
Yeah, so the good thing about that is once obviously the form allows you to place the document in the Human Resources drive. Now, for those of you that are quite new to Bitrix, the work groups are designated areas where only certain people can view things. So as sensitive as things such as contracts and resumes are, then the Human Resources work group in this case is locked down basically to the Human Resources employees. So it is very sensitive information, we understand that, and this is why the Human Resources has the correct permissions to allow you the right people to access that.
Yeah. So next thing we'll do is have a look in the profile. So we added in a start date and a job title and some other information into there. We can see that the holiday entitlement of 20 days has been added into there, the start date again, and the job title has been added. So we managed to populate some of the important fields in that user's profile. We selected a buddy for this user in the process. If I switch now to this other user's system, we'll see that on their login page there is an approval. So I've got a notification asking us to call by their office later on today. I can approve this again from the activity stream, or if we go into their pending items, we can see that in a list of amongst a list of other items that they need to take action on. Let's click into that. Gives us a bit of full information about what we need to do on this particular assignment, and I'm going to accept it. And we go back in now. You can see that we received a notification. Let's just open that up again. Okay, you can see we received a notification say that Mark Hope has accepted this assignment to be buddy for this new user. And then finally, I receive my own assignment. In this case, it's requesting me to book an induction in for this user. So we've created 2 or 3 assignments. We've updated the new starter's profile. We've added documents into the relevant HR drive, and yeah, all in a very simple, easy to use process. So we'll look at the business process itself.
Yeah, and just one thing to point out what we can see here. So we can see in this process, we can see each individual who is responsible at each part of the process. So you can see in the middle here, we've got a green tick against Mark Hope. He's the person who's approved it. So you can always see a visual representation of what the approval process is. So we're just going to have a look at the business process behind this. It is pretty straightforward, and you can create this process on the cloud and the self-hosted version. It's just got a number of approval loops and things like that. So if you click into the new starter onboarding process here, so again, we'll firstly have a look at the form fields involved. So click on Customize Fields. We do have a number of fields here. Again, we've got a couple of different ones. So we've got link to employee. This allows you to select any user that's on the system as an employee. And you have, again, you have file fields, number fields, dates and text fields as well. So you have quite a wide range to choose from. All these are standard fields within the cloud and the self-hosted version. So you can build up your own pretty cool form there. And one thing I didn't touch upon on the last business process is if we just click into change workflow preferences here, it may be that you don't want everybody to be able to access this particular workflow. So maybe you only want the HR team to have access to this particular workflow. So you can click on access here, and you can specify on here who you want to. So click on here, click on department. It may be that we say all HR department employees have access to it and everybody else gets denied from it. So in this case, we'll leave it as it is, but you can restrict these workflows to be the users that you want to be. Okay, so now that we've clicked back into configure workflows, we'll just run through the actual process on here. If anybody wants access to these processes, just drop us an email to the contact details at the end of the webinar, and we're more than happy to be able to export and send you these so you can have a play around with these particular workflows themselves. So as Damien submitted the form, again, it starts at the start point here, and initially it sends out the contract that was attached to the form via an email to the actual employee. And then we have a condition here. So we had a drop down that selected what type of employee they were, and in this case it was either going to be a manager or an administrator. And what that allows you to do, it allows you to determine different content based on that particular job role. So if you're a manager, for example, you may want to receive different notifications, different text documents, and different approvals compared to what an administrator may get. So if we follow down the route of a manager, we send out a welcome message to that particular user, and then we have the process here that is the approval process that you saw under the user Mark Hope. So we selected him, and then he had a yes or no approval that he wanted to become their buddy. If he selected yes, did have a notification that said yes, as we saw, and if he was going to be rejected, then we'd have a notification that just said that the buddy had rejected that offer. And then finally, we have the assignment that Damien looked at the end. We left it on the activity stream. We could book the induction in if we wanted to, and then we have a wait block in 14 days, and then we'll book a review meeting for this particular employee.
Yeah, thanks. So actually we didn't see this last section, of course, because we finished it at book induction, where I received this assignment to do this induction. Of course, after this period of time, we're going to receive a further assignment to do a review for this particular employee. Okay, let's have a look at finally then how we can track time. We're going to look at this from a mobile a mobile device, of course you can log in on a desktop, but you can also log in through the mobile app.
So one good use for this is obviously if you've got maybe staff that are on site somewhere at a client site or outside of your office location or working from home, then they can simply just log into their mobile app, see what they see on the screen here, and then Demi's just going to show you how you can.
Yeah, so we can clock in using this link here. Okay, it presents us with a page where we can log into the system. As I'm logged into the system, it's going to start to record the time that I'm spending clocked in. We can have a break, and as I'm on a break, it's going to record the actual time that I'm on a break, so we can report on all this time later on and get a report on just the amount of time I've spent working. I can then continue, and the time I spend will continue to clock up, and then at the end of the day we can clock out, and this will present me with, for my own use, total time worked, in this case 12 minutes during the day, and also allow my manager and HR teams to be able to see a report on the amount of time I've spent actually working today. So let's have a look at that report.
Yeah, so all the information that is submitted via the mobile app absolutely gets sent to Bitrix the same way it would as if you were clocking into the top system here and clocking out. So as long as you're logged in as your own user, you can then all the information gets submitted to Bitrix.
Yeah, so you can clock in on a mobile and you can clock out on a desktop in the browser.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So if we go to the time and reports and then click on work time, we had a brief look at this earlier, but what you can see is you can restrict access to the HR department in here if you wanted to. If we click into maybe see in April here, we've got a little bit more information on here. So you can see here how each individual, so say for example on John Smith, you can see each day he's clocked in for 5 minutes. So clicking for 8 hours there, you can see when that user has started his working day and ended his working day, and it tells you the amount of hours on there. And this daily report gets sent to the HR department in this case, so then they can see quite a good overview of what their working time is.
Yep.
Now on the self-hosted, you've got a little bit, a couple of different advantages as well. We've developed for a client of ours an ability to click on a button here and extract this report as a CSV. You can extract it as a PDF file as well. And we've also incorporated a few different columns in here. So maybe you want to add when this person, how many hours this person has been off ill, how many days in lieu they may have, or how many days on vacation they've had as well. So there's quite a little bit more scope you can do on the self-hosted, but this feature is available as standard on the cloud and the self-hosted.
Yeah. So to clarify, we are looking at the cloud. This is a standard feature available on all most cloud packages. I have to check if it's available. I think it's available on the free one, but generally, certainly all the commercial cloud packages. But on the self-hosted, there's some more flexibility. Actually, we developed a system for a self-hosted client. Consultancy business. They wanted to clock their consultants to clock in on site, but they wanted to track them by IP address. So we can actually integrate other features like that, which gave them a check to see that the consultants were at the right location. Okay, let's see if we've got any questions. Can an absence request be assigned to more than one user? So you can build into the process a group of users, so it might be that you want anybody within the HR team to be able to pick up those requests, and that can be would be possible to do as a standard feature.
Yeah, there's just a question about getting access to the processes that we have. I mean, the couple that we showed today, obviously the absence one is standard. Just the the onboarding one, if you want it, like I say, contact details will be up at the end of the webinar.
Okay. So that's it. Coming soon, we look at business processes in detail. We also look at a webinar that focuses just on project management tools. Also, we look at in detail the CRM. And then we mentioned self-hosted a couple of times. We have a webinar that focuses just on the advantages of self-hosted product. Go to our website, interface.com/webinars, and you can register for any of these up-and-coming webinars. You can also watch a recording of today's or a recording of any of these other webinars on there as well. So that's it. I don't think we've got any more questions.
If you've got any questions now, just pop them in the box. We're more than happy to answer any that you may have.